Senator, this is Adam Schrager again in Denver. It's good to see you again, sir.
Adam, thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Our first question comes from Les in Boulder, who says he's seen the commercial where Senator McCain has accused you personally of being responsible for high gas prices, and he wants to know if you accept that responsibility.
Well, let me tell you, John McCain said a few weeks ago that the reason we're in an energy crisis is because for 30 years, nobody in Washington did anything about it. And he's absolutely right, except that he didn't mention that he was there 26 of those years, opposing increased fuel efficiency standards on cars, opposing solar power, opposing wind power, opposing increased biofuel development. Let me say this. I'm happy to accept responsibility when I'm President of the United States to fix the problem. And the way we're going to do that is through a significant and bold approach that increases fuel efficiency standards on cars. We can get 150 miles per gallon on a plug-in hybrid made right here in the United States, expanding solar and wind power, expanding our electricity grid to maximize energy efficiency, making our buildings more energy efficient. Those are the kinds of proposals I put forward. That's what's going to put us on a path to energy independence.
One of the things, Senator, you've talked about in the past is taxing oil companies on their profits. And John Shabel wants to know, how do you intend to stop them from passing that tax on to the consumers?
Well, the truth is that they are already not only passing on increased costs to consumers, but making outsized profits. ExxonMobil made $12 billion almost this past quarter, not this past year, this past quarter, the most of any U.S. company in history. And all we're suggesting is that with a windfall profits tax after a certain amount of income, if some of that money can go back in the form of a $1,000 per family rebate to help provide families immediate relief over the next 4 to 6 months while we're getting a better energy plan in place, that can make, I think, an enormous difference. And that is not going to have a long-term impact on the oil company's bottom line.
Senator, our next question comes from Larry Sessions in Denver, who says, if you've noticed personally we're a country addicted to energy and fossil fuels in particular, he wants to know, though, in your opinion, how do you convince a public so enamored of thoughtless overconsumption that the single best solution is to drastically cut back their use?
Well, I think that the key for a lot of families is not that they are addicted to overconsumption. The problem is that, for example, they live an hour away from their work, and they've got no other way to get it there. And so they're stuck with $100 or $200 in reduced income because of these high gas prices. What we have to do is collectively help families and businesses make a transition. I already mentioned solar, wind, changing our car economy so that the cars are much more fuel efficient. Another area is the issue of high-speed rail. We're the only advanced country that does not have a serious high-speed rail system. If we invested in that infrastructure right now, it would create jobs immediately. It would make us more energy efficient. It would be an economic boon to many communities that are now starting to lose service from airlines because they're getting hammered by jet fuel. Having those kinds of creative approaches is going to be critical, and that's what we need from the next President of the United States, setting some bold goals and then moving them forward over the next 4 to 8 years.
Senator, I wanted to switch you to the topic of health care. And Janet writes in, her son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 5. On her current insurance policy, which was an individual plan, he was denied coverage. So her question to you is, what do you do to help change the health insurance situation, particularly for children?
Well, first of all, there's no child that should be denied coverage. And when it comes to children with chronic diseases like diabetes, part of what we need to do is to provide them with the best possible management of that disease so that they don't end up in the emergency room costing the system much more. And that's why I've been a strong supporter of expansion of the SCHIP program, the Children's Health Insurance Program, something John McCain opposed. That's why I have been a strong supporter of a universal health care approach that will say, if you've got health insurance, then we're just going to make sure the insurance companies can't deny your claims and try to introduce more efficiencies in the system, lower your premiums. If you don't have health insurance, then we are going to work to provide you the same kind of health insurance that I have as a member of Congress. And I want to pass this by the end of my first term, have this system in place. One last point I want to make. When it comes to juvenile diabetes, this is an area where stem cell research can offer potential breakthroughs. John McCain and I think everybody, Republican or Democrat, we should all agree that stem cell research has been is something that is right to do. And George Bush, unfortunately, has vetoed stem cell research twice. I will sign it when I'm President of the United States of America.
Senator Barack Obama, thank you so much for being on your show, sir.
Great to talk to you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.